This is bad. A real bad look for Governor DeSantis. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but this is bad. It's it makes me think twice about this guy. I'm glad he's governor in Florida. I'm just not. Let's put it this way. This isn't good. All right, so we're going to go to the conservative treehouse, and there's just no way you can spin this in the right way other than all right. Let's go into this. DeSantis pulls out of Lee Zeldin fundraiser after meeting with billionaire donor who just gave more than $400,000 to the current governor of New York. So Lee Zeldin is a Republican running against this clown, and she's bad person. She is dumb as a rock, and she's bad. Here's Lee Zeldin. All right, so he's running against her. DeSantis was going to a fundraiser on behalf of Lee Zeldin. All right, but he pulled out after he just met with this guy who had given $400,000 to her. Now we're going to go into the story because it's even worse than this. All right, you're like, wait a second. So you're a Republican. He's challenging this clown. You're going to go to a fundraiser at a night to support this guy. You had met with this guy earlier that day. This guy had given $400,000 to her, and you're going to pull out of this fundraiser because of unforeseen tragedy. An unforeseen tragedy forced Governor DeSantis to reschedule his trip. I remember reading this, like, well, what was the unforeseen tragedy? And I thought, did his wife die or something like that? I was like, crazy. So we're wondering what the unforeseen tragedy was, because I remember seeing that too, and I didn't pay much mind to it, and that's why I rely on Sundance at the conservative treehouse to get me squared away, because this is bad. Well, what was the unforeseen tragedy, you might ask? Well, he was going to attend a Monday memorial service for a member of a security detail who died in the line of duty. All right. Jose Perez was struck by Javier Sandoval in Miami on August 2nd, and he died on August 20th. R.I.P., brother. That's horrible. While unable to attend the evening event for this guy, DeSantis was in Deal, New Jersey earlier that day to meet with this guy who had just given $400,000 to this guy, if you know what I'm saying. So despite Officer Perez passing away 8 days earlier, apparently Governor DeSantis was unaware of the Monday funeral plans when he flew the governor's jet to New Jersey to meet with a billionaire real estate mogul on Sunday. So on Sunday, he took the governor's jet to meet with this guy, unaware, apparently, of the funeral plans for the next day. And it forced him to cancel the fundraiser for this guy that night. Okay. But the background looks even worse. Billionaire Joseph Kai, or whatever, of Midtown Equities had just given more than $400,000 to her, who he's running against. Oh, it gets even worse. Ron DeSantis flies to New Jersey on Sunday, meets with billionaire developer who just donated $400,000 Democratic candidate. Immediately following the meeting, DeSantis cancels the fundraiser with Hochul's opponent, Lee Zeldin, and returns to Florida. All right, and the reason is because an unforeseen tragedy. All right, but the funeral was announced on the 26th. DeSantis knew the date and the time of the funeral before he got on the plane on the 28th. He knew that the funeral was going to be on the 29th. It wasn't unforeseen tragedy. He knew this. So he knew the funeral was going to be on that Monday because it was announced on the 26th. But he got on the plane on the 28th to go meet this guy. But it's an unforeseen tragedy. He couldn't meet this guy to raise money for him. So what changed? Horrible unforeseen circumstances or a request from a big club donor? The timing and circumstances look terrible. The team behind DeSantis has promised to reschedule. And my man Sundance says, apply Occam's razor. Apply Occam's razor. Yeah. And there wasn't anything unforeseen about this at all. None in the least. The idea that they're even saying that is, well, I guess Zeldin's spokeswoman said that. So who knows if Zeldin spokeswoman was told by DeSantis' campaign. So what's that about, Oh, but it gets worse. Also, in positive Florida news, Governor DeSantis announced a leading investment in clean energy for Florida today, with a $68 million award for 227 electric transit buses, an unknown secondary distribution from the Department of Environmental Protection for 218 electric school buses. In addition to today's announcements, the Department of Environmental Protection also awarded grants to 7 school districts to purchase a total of 218 electric school buses, including introducing electric buses as an important and effective way to reduce harmful emissions, because electricity doesn't produce harmful emissions, especially in highly populated areas. All right, so this is just bad. Let's see some of the comments here. This is a level below scum. Governor, try to stay above that, please. Yep. When a money guy says not to go to an event you already scheduled for, that's a shade below scum. I cannot agree. Our politicians are all owned by the same corporate and foreign donors. President Trump represents a real threat to their dominance. I don't know how I can completely agree. I still, man, I tell you, man, I still like Putin. I'm convinced is in on the whole thing with the World Economic Forum and the globalist cabal, because Putin is a young global leader. I just, this whole thing is structured and Putin is in on it. I just can't quite figure out Trump, if Trump's in on it or not. I just, in terms of, I don't think he is, because the level of vitriol and animosity towards him. But maybe Trump just got played. I don't know. I mean, going in the whole, if we could take out 2020, I would definitely say Trump was against the globalist. 2020 though, just still, I'm sitting there thinking, because he's the biggest salesman for this stuff, and I think he's the biggest salesman for it not because he's part of it, but because of pride. Pride, man. What pride cometh before the fall, or something like that. Because he wants to be known as a guy who saved millions with his Operation Warp Speed, and I just think, man, with that pride, dude, it's going to eat you alive. And I think come 2024, there's going to be some serious damage in Trump's repertoire when people say, dude, you were promoting this. You know what I'm saying? And as such, we're going to be left with DeSantis. Look, at the end, so what DeSantis used to call into Rush Limbaugh, I think he was a congressman or even a state senator, I can't remember. Rush was big on DeSantis. And I get it too. And Rush was fantastic. Rush stood against the grain. But I'm wondering if DeSantis is actually just another ambitious politician. He sees like, ooh, there's an opportunity. Like smart. Don't get me wrong. And I still like the guy. I mean, he's a hell of a lot better than Andrew Gillum, for heaven's sake. And he's a hell of a lot better than any of these other cons. But I'll vote for him if he wins the primary. Right now, I'm voting for Trump in the primary. Again, not that any of this really matters, but I'm still gonna, because it makes me feel good. But anyway, so I'm sitting there thinking maybe DeSantis was smart to say, look, there's a group of people who are not being served, i.e., conservatives, and I'm going to go down that direction and get them to rally me. Now, I'm ambitious, and some ambitious people will go on, they'll jump on the Black Lives Matter thing. It's stupid because that is already, there's too many people on that thing. You know what I'm saying? They'll jump on the environmental street cred stuff, and that's stupid. I'm talking ambitious people here, man. People just want to get power for whatever power's sake. And they think they'll jump on what the tried and true, but you're just one of a million. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't want to say it. Let's just put it this way. Every high school now has a certain kind of person who's 57 flavors, who everyone thinks, 5 years ago that was way, probably 3 years ago that was way cool, but now it's not cool anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, everyone's doing that. So it's kind of like if you're going to be that guy in your high school, you're like, that's kind of yesterday's news. So jump on the BLM, the green stuff, that's just yesterday's news. AOC has already, done all that. So, but there's another aspect to this, which is in terms of republicanism, which is to be a true conservative, go get, Rush's blessing and whatnot, Rush Limbaugh, because a lot of people weren't doing that. I remember when the governor was running in the primary, is Bill McCollum. I can't remember this as DeSantis. I think it was before DeSantis. I can't remember. But the Bill McCollum was a congressman. He's like, I got the endorsement of the Washington Post in the Republican primary. I got the endorsement of the Orlando Sentinel. I'm like, dude, I don't live in Florida, but that in of itself shows me I'm not voting for you if your only reason to be to seek the nomination is because you got the endorsement of the clowns that hate us. That doesn't sell. I mean, that might have sold 25 years ago in the Republican Party. It doesn't anymore. I'll never forget the insanity. I think that might have been when he was running for primary, and I think DeSantis might have been running against him. I said, hell no, dude. And DeSantis went straight for the Rush Limbaugh thing, and that was proved to be very beneficial to him. So he's a smart guy, but ambition, that's my concern, man, because ambition means, you want power, and you'll do whatever it takes. If that means you go against Lee Zeldin fundraiser because a big donor of the other side told you, that's not a good sign. Love your thoughts. We'll see you.